Y'all remember when the Roccat Kone XP came out? I loved this mouse when I covered it, and I had a good time with it. Now it's a different mouse, it really is. It's not for that FPS gamer, I really don't think so. And it's not for those nerds chasing dots around on their screens playing Kovacs, you know? But there's one thing I wish it was: wireless. Well, look what we have here, the Kone XP Air. Wireless with some extra goodies. Let me show you what you get in your box. Of course, you're gonna get your mouse. Now it comes in this black version, also comes in a white version. You'll get your detachable USB-C braided cable. You know, it's a wireless mouse cable. Not the best, but you can charge it by USB-C right on the front right there. Of course, you get your dongle. Roccat, I've told you before, you gotta start putting your names of your products on these dongles. I mix up my dongles, lose my dongles, don't know where I'm putting them. Let's get the name of the product on the dongles. Here's the juiciness, guys. You got this little charge station here. I know we're thinking kind of like Razer Viper, stuff like that, you know? A little bit different right here, but quite similar. Really cool device. So before we get into talking about the basic core, the specs, the feel, the shape, and everything in the mouse, I want to go ahead and plug this mouse in because, again, it looks really sharp. And again, with the dock right here, it plugs in right by USB-C on the back. You don't need to use it again because you can plug it in by the mouse here. You also have a little dongle storage on the bottom, and that's, again, how the mouse is going to sit there. So anyways, let's go ahead and plug in. I'm going to get back here. Give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to plug it in right there. You're seeing it light up. Now you can take your dongle of your mouse, put it in front of the dock right there, power on your mouse, bam, and you're good to go. Now I got a bunch of lights on here, so take that into account. But just look at this RGB. As you see, you got 4 zones on the charging station, and then also on the mouse right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, actually 5, because you got the scroll wheel. I just put it on a bunch of different colors so you can see how it kind of goes through right there. But I think this combo looks stinking awesome as well, again with the mouse and then that. And as you can see, that is how the mouse sits right on the dock. Now, one downfall of this I just want to mention real quick is you can set the mouse when it's on a dock to give you the battery indicator, but you can't do it for the dock. I know it's kind of opposite because you got the product and you got the dock, which is totally different, but I wish the dock would show my battery status right down, whether it be green or red. Nitpicky, but something I wish. But now taking a closer look at the mouse, looking at the dimensions right here, we're all quite familiar with this mouse shape, right? It's a handful. It is a bigger mouse. The best thing compared to is the Roccat Kone Pro Air. It's the exact same shape minus the buttons. If you're looking on the side, pretty much the side. Now you don't have that lip over here, of course, where your thumb's resting. The other thing you're really going to see different on the shape is you see where it's flaring out right here with those side buttons. You don't have that on the Kone Pro Air. Now, talking about that flare, you don't feel it at all. When it's sitting in your hand, it's not poking your back or anything. Of course, this is going to depend hand shape, of course, you know, but it's not poking me back there. It feels exactly to the T as the Kone Pro Air, which is a really good thing. Now, one other thing you might be thinking whenever you're using a mouse like this with so much going on, are the buttons interfering with your play, or is your hand actually hitting those while you're playing? So it sits into this groove right there, and it's almost resting right on that bottom button, but I never ever had any accidental presses. I didn't accidentally press the top buttons up here or the side buttons up on my finger. I never really, because when you press down, you kind of feel them right there, you know what I mean? And it's a different tactile press, so it never interfered with my play, never any accidental presses. Again, that might vary hand shape to hand shape, but for me with bigger hands and chunky thumbs, no issues whatsoever with interference of the buttons. And do we even have to talk about the build of Roccat products anymore, guys? We all know, like, they're known to have absolute tanks of product. Yo, they are stinking solid. Again, we don't even got to talk about the build here. It's top notch. Now, covering a few specs of the mouse right here, of course you have wireless, but you also have Bluetooth just by a flick of the button on the back, and you get up to 100 hours of battery life with this. Of course, pending your RGB settings and your brightness, right? As you've been seeing it here, it's on max brightness, but I usually keep it on like a medium brightness. It's real nice and subtle, but still bright. But again, no issues with battery because you can just take the mouse, slap it right on the dock right there, and you're good to go. Now, you are using the owl eye sensor. In all of my play, it was spot on. No hiccups, no delays, no interferences, nothing. Absolutely spot on. Now, the switches, they are using the Titan optical switches up front. I'm not sure what they're using around the rest of the mouse, but again, we're quite familiar with these with the Burst Pro, the Kone Pro, same switches. Again, I'm not too sure what they're using around the mouse right here, but they're a lot more subtle. Now, the scroll wheel here is actually a 4D scroll wheel, they call it, because you got 4 presses on it. You got scroll, click right, click left, and click down. And I know what a lot of you are thinking now that you're looking over the mouse, like, who the heck needs all these buttons? You know, it's the same thing I said. I don't really main mice like this. I use mice like this, you know what I mean? But I busted out and I started using it. And again, my primary use was with No Man's Sky. And I know you don't need all these mouse buttons for it, but it just makes the experience so much better, so much more convenient, right? I can pull out my scanner, switch my weapons, do all this, that, and the other, all right on the mouse right there. Not even use it to its full potential. I did not use the 4D scroll wheel. I just used my preset buttons on it right there, and I still have more options to use. And that's what's great about it. Again, you get to set the mouse up to your liking. What game are you playing? Or even on top of that, productivity. Say you're video editing or music editing or something like that. You need to crop, you need to paste, you need to zoom. You set all that on the mouse right here. That's what this mouse really is. Again, no, I personally don't think it's a first-person shooter mouse. I don't, but not every product has to be a stinking first-person shooter product. I love seeing products like this. And again, my time in No Man's Sky, I had a better experience using this mouse. Now, talking about using a mouse, and it is bigger here, let's go on and check the weight of it. We are getting 98 grams. Not incredibly lightweight, but for what it is, guys, that is lightweight. Like, we gotta agree. For everything that this mouse is packing on it, being 98 grams is awesome. What I wanna check it to is the wired version. Of course, we got the wire dangling here. What is that coming in at? 100 grams? Did they make the wireless one lighter than the wired one? Yo, that's crazy. Let's check this again. Okay, we're getting 100 right there. What are we getting over here? 98. Yo, that is stinking awesome. Let's go on and check it up to the Kone Pro Air. Now, I do have glass skates on this, so take this into account. Slapping that on there, we're getting 74 grams. So sitting right in between. That is so incredibly awesome that they kept that weight under 100 with everything that's in this. That's how you got to look at this, guys. And wow, all I can do is high five Roccat on that. Stinking awesome. So all in all, it looks like we have a win on our hands, right? It's a solid shape, there's solid features. I think the aesthetics are awesome. It's an all-around great product coming in at $170. That is not cheap, but it's kind of honestly what we've been seeing in mice products, whether it be the Viper when it first came out. I think it was right around the 150, 160, you know, coming with the dock, you know, and it honestly wasn't even packing everything that this is packing. So that's really justifying the price, I truly believe, with the dock, the customization of it, the internals, and the options and all the buttons and everything on it. That's what you gotta look at. You don't look at a complete whole, not just a gaming mouse with a dock. Look at everything that it has with it, the wireless, the Bluetooth, all that stuff, still maintaining that good, manageable weight right there. And I do think it justifies the price. There's no kidding. We can't kid each other. It's expensive. It's pricey. So again, watch back through this review, kind of jive with what I'm talking about right there. Is it going to be versatile for you? Then it's going to justify it for you. And if you can, yo, complete win.